Well, I've been up for about, it must be close to an hour now. I heard rumblings of a storm. It sounded like fireworks where they're constantly going off, booming, one after the other. So I got up and out northwest. It was a constant lightning, so it must have been really quite the storm for those folks. So I brought things inside the tent. I put my personal locator beacon inside my jacket that I have on, my fleece jacket, and then zipped it up. So if anything happened and I blew around somewhere, it would hopefully still be on me. I put my whistle on me. I think through possibilities and what I would do, and then once it does, if it's, possible, then I start carrying that out. I've read a lot about lightning, out in the wilderness, and I have some rubber-soled shoes. Try to make yourself small. Just kind of packed everything in emergency bags, put it in my sleeping bags. Just the constant lightning and thunder rumbling. Sounds like a pretty intense storm. I hope everyone is okay. Animals and people.
To prevent narcolepsy, our irregularly scheduled program is being interrupted to bring you the following messages by NICWAX and ResQLink Plus for your wilderness emergency.
I'm starting to test my gear to make sure everything is in working order for my trip. And when I tested my tarp a couple weeks ago in a real drenching downpour, it soaked up the water and started leaking through the roof. I went and bought NICWAX tent and gear solar proof. Well, hi everybody. As some of you know who have been following my channel, I am going into the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. So on the back, it looks like there are two instructions. Number one, activate. Press a red button for 1 second. To deactivate, you press a red button for 5 seconds. And big red warning is use only in situations of grave and imminent danger.
And now, back to our irregularly scheduled program, simultaneously in progress and in the past.
So, anyways, looks like the storm is abated, so just been reading a book and hoping that it would just pass north and that everyone is okay. So, looked like it was a pretty intense storm. So, anyways, exciting night in the Boundary Waters. Hopefully it'll just be a quiet night. Well, it took a while to get here, but it made it. I think hopefully the worst of it has blown itself out a bit. I noticed earlier the clouds were passing more north of me. This is for those of you who like to hear the sound of rain on a tent. That's a centipede walking. Happy Halloween! Well, the rain has stopped. Today was going to be a travel day. I had 3 more destinations before I left the Boundary Waters. My travel clothes are in a corner on plastic, staying dry, even though the tent is dry inside. Just another layer of protection. I do have everything pretty much in dry bags and on top of my mattress. I can hear all of you fantastic tarp pitchers out there laughing. I look at it this way. My gear directly underneath the 2 boatloads of water is dry. And my fishing rod is unharmed, as well as my tarp. So I also have fresh rainwater. I knew there was something I forgot to do last night. The Natural High Pure Organic freeze-dried strawberries. They're made in the United States, and it's hard to describe. They're extremely light and crispy, so if you just wanted to put them in your mouth as a healthy snack. I'm just waiting to see if the sun comes out here and gives me a chance to dry everything out so I can get out tomorrow. I am drying out the rain fly from my tent. I'm so glad that I have a ridge line to do that with. I haven't decided if I'm drying out my gear because I'm leaving or if I just want it dry so I can pack up and leave tomorrow. Rainfly, don't fly away. Shoes and socks in the backcountry. That is certainly personal preference. So I always use a medium boot that it's a Merrell that I get wet because I'm a wet footer. I just go into the lake right away, get them wet, and I portage with them wet, and I have a heavier sock that I wear with them just for cushioning and just the terrain out here, and I have a really small foot. I just need a boot like this. Normally I would not bring Crocs. I've never brought them before. The reason why I did is because if I ever go fishing, I really just want to jump in the canoe and get my feet wet. I can walk into the lake with them on, and I don't have to get my boots and socks wet. So these 2 are for wet and water purposes. I want to talk about a few things that I use in case anything ever happened and I was in dire need of rescue. I bought a PLB, a personal locator beacon by ACR. The reason why is because it costs $249, which is half the price of a sat phone, plus with sat phones you have minutes to pay. And with this, it's just one flat rate. The battery lasts 6 years, after which it does need to be replaced. If I ever did need it, it would get my GPS by satellite and send an emergency signal to a team of people that would locate local search and rescue teams. The way it works is the antenna unclips on the back. And to my horror, I found this unclipped. And then the antenna goes straight up. And on the side, there's a test button. But to the left of that is the button that I would actually press and hold for 1 second to activate it, at which time I would see lights on the front telling me that it was working. If it was an accident, I would press it for 5 seconds to deactivate it. So thankfully there is a deactivation signal on it. If I did need it for rescue, this would just stay skyward. It's just the GPS device. This does float. Since I'm traveling by canoe, I thought that might be a good option just in case. And if it is used for a life-saving purpose, used for life-saving purposes only, then you would send them your story. They would verify that your life was saved by local search and rescue, and then they would replace it for free. So hopefully all I'll ever have to do is replace the battery on this. It does come with a Velcro strap, which you can strap to your anything you want. I'm personally using a carabiner and strapping it to my belt. And just to let you know that in red lettering it says, warning, use only in situations of grave or imminent danger. So someone said, so you mean like if you see a bear? And it's like, nope, because I'm not in grave or imminent danger just because I see a bear or a wolf or a moose or really anything for that matter. It would have to be that, someone is not breathing, having a heart attack, choking to death and unrevivable, something bleeding to death. It'd have to be something truly grave and imminent. Even if a bear tore up my entire camp, destroyed all my food, my tent, everything, as long as my canoe is still working, and I got a paddle, I can get out of here. Eventually somebody's going to come by, but I'm personally not in grave or imminent danger. So I would just wait for someone to come by and make do with what I had. So I have a lot of emergency and redundant gear. So I did put this carabiner and this clip on it, and then I put it on my belt. So, and then one other piece I have is that if something happened, like last night there was a bad storm and someone did die this year, unfortunately, and were really gravely injured after a storm, and a tree fell on their tent and the father died. Terribly sad, and I do really care about those families. It's a terrible tragedy, but so like apparently during that storm a lot of these PLBs went off. I know some people use spot devices, but they too, you have to pay for a monthly fee of some sort, and I just didn't need to pay a monthly fee for something that I just need have on me but may never use. If for any reason I was had taken a little hike, just down the shoreline or something happened and I had to turn this on, this is good within 200 meters, I think it is. So I do keep a whistle on me for a couple of reasons. One is so that they could locate me specifically. 3 of anything is an international sign for someone needing help. So if I just really wasn't in grave and imminent danger, but I just needed help from passersby, I could just use my whistle to get their attention. At night, if there was a bear in camp or something, this whistle is super loud, and it would, at the very least, be somewhat of an annoyance, and hopefully the noise would help scare him away amongst whatever else, banging pans and things like that. So I keep this for just local use only, or maybe a bear scare. And this is more for a really serious life and death issue. So that's what I use for my safety out in the backcountry. It lets me go into more remote places than I normally would go, so I decided to make that purchase for this trip. One last comment about the ResQLink Plus, the plus meaning that it's buoyant, and that is that it comes with your own personal registration number, and you have to register on the NOAA or NOAA.gov site and list 2 emergency contacts. The emergency team would call those people and just verify, is this person traveling in an area where they could require rescue, and they get a confirmation and they continue. I am assuming that if they couldn't reach someone by phone, they're going to assume that it's the real deal. And you can also do your warranty information on the ACR site. Super quick, very well done, so highly recommend it. Just gorgeous. Every day, so pretty, like just every day it's a gift. Yesterday I saw thunderheads almost due west, a little northwest, and then got a rainstorm. Now I'm seeing some more thunderheads, but these are much further north, more northwest. Look at that one. Look at that one. That looks like a whopper. It's got some energy to it. That is way north. And I hope that it stays north. Stay north, my friend. And let no harm come to any person or animal. That's really all that matters.